Hey guys, it's Michaela and today I'm going to be doing a crochet tutorial. This one is going to be for complete beginners. Like you almost don't even remember what this is called and you want to call it knitting still. It's crochet. So if you're crocheting, you're going to have one hook and some yarn. If you're just starting, this is probably all you're going to have, this and maybe a pair of scissors. You probably don't have a darning needle because you are just getting started. So if you don't even know what a darning needle is, that is just a needle you use to sew yarn. But don't worry about it. Your first project is not going to be anything crazy. It is going to be a square. You are not going to be able to make anything unless you can make a decent square, because squares are going to teach you how to make something that is straight, and if it ends up looking like a square when it's supposed to be, or a rectangle, that means you understand what your stitches look like, how many stitches you need, all of those things. But before we can do any of that, we're going to have to make a slip knot. A slip knot is the very beginning of your stitches, and that is what makes it so that you can do your stitches. And there are a few ways we can do that. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways to make a slip knot first, and you can pick whichever way is easiest. That might change. When I first started, there was one way I did slip knots. Later on, I took the time to learn a second way just because it was faster. So let's go ahead and get started with our slip knots. The first way I'm going to show you to make a slip knot is the way that I learned. So you're going to start with your pointer finger and your thumb and just pinch the yarn. Your yarn tail, which is the shorter end, is going to be towards you. And then the longer end that connects to your ball of yarn is going to be going away from you. You're going to take that longer end and it'll already be going over, and then you're going to wrap it under and go over again, just like that. So if you didn't get that the first time, I'm going to do it again. You're pinching this yarn. I also use my middle finger because it makes it easier. And then you're going to take it and go over, and then you're going to wrap it under and over one more time. Now, after you do that, I'm going to take this long piece of yarn, go down and put it between my middle finger and my thumb. So I'm pinching both of these strings like this. I'm going to take the strand that's on top of my finger on the left side, closest to my knuckle, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to go over this strand on the right and take it under my finger, and make sure you don't let go of this pinch. I'm going to take this long strand again. I'm going to go over my finger, bring it down, pinch it. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take this left strand of yarn, go over the right strand and over my finger. Then I'm going to take the short tail of my yarn, pull, and now I have this big loop. To make this loop smaller, I'm going to pull on the long yarn. You can put your hook in so it doesn't undo, and pull so that it fits your hook. I'm going to do this again a couple times with you guys to make sure you get it. If you already have it, in the description I have timestamps of where the next part of this tutorial starts, so you can skip to that, or if you want to do the next style of slip knot, you can skip to that. Okay, so let's do it again. You have your short strand, you're gonna pinch it with your middle finger, your thumb, and your pointer finger. The tail is facing you, and the long strand connecting to the ball is going away. You're going to continue pinching with your middle finger and your thumb, and you're going to wrap it around your pointer finger twice so that it looks like this. And when you are done wrapping, you're going to put it between your middle finger and thumb so that you're holding it. You're going to take this strand on the left, go over the strand on the right, over the finger all the way, so that it's like this. You don't want to let go of those pinchers. Now you're going to grab that long strand, keep holding that short strand, wrap over so that there's two again, and you're going to do the same thing. Take the strand on the left, pull over, don't let your pinchers go, take the shorter strand and pull so that it tightens, put your hook in, pull the long strand so that your slip knot gets smaller. Okay, let's do it one more time, this time a bit faster. Practice this a few times if you need. It's an important skill. So I'm pinching, short tail towards me, long end going away from me. Going to wrap around my finger twice, take the left strand, pull it over, wrap around my finger again with that long strand, take the left strand, pull over. I'm going to take the short tail, pull it to tighten, put my hook in the loop, pull the long strand to make my loop smaller. Now we're going to learn the second way that you can make a slip knot, and this is what I do now. So you take your yarn, and your ball should be on the left side of you. So you're going to pull the strand towards the right. I place down my finger, and I take this shorter side, and I go on the bottom so that it looks like this. I'm then going to pinch them together, put my fingers into the loop, going to twist the loop back side, going under. I'm going to come up, pinch the longer strand, and pull the shorter strand. Now I'm going to take my hook, put it in the loop, pull the long one to tighten. So let's do it again a bit slower so that you can get it. I take my yarn, my ball's on the right side, I pull it, and I fold it so that the short tail is on the bottom. So make your yarn look like this to start. Now that your yarn looks like this, you're going to take your left hand, pinch with your pointer finger and your thumb, and lift up that loop. I'm going to take my pointer finger and my thumb on my right hand, put them inside my loop. Now I'm going to take the back of my loop, the part that's farthest away, I'm going to go under and bring that towards me. Then I'm going to take my pinchers on my right hand, grab the longer strand. With my left hand, I'm going to grab the shorter strand, and I'm going to pull it. Now I have this big loop. I'm going to take my hook, put it in the loop, grab the long strand, pull it. If this one's hard for you, I always suggest if you don't understand my video, there are other videos, and that is okay if you need to use them. We are all crochet creators. Also, if you didn't watch the first way I did it, try the first way. That tends to be easier when you're just learning how to crochet because you're still kind of learning how to get that muscle memory with your hands because you're going to be working parts of your hands you've never worked with before. Okay, so now we've gotten our slip knot, but you're like, I have no idea how to hold this yarn, how to hold the hook, what I do next. I don't understand what is happening here. So I'm going to show you how I hold my yarn and my hook. There are a few different ways to do this, but this is what I have found the easiest for me. If this does not work for you, there are other ways to hold it that you can research about. I'm going to show you one way to hold the yarn, which is how I hold it, and 2 different ways to hold the hook. I only hold it one of them, but I know about 2. To hold my hook, I hold it like this. This is called a knife hold. Some people hold it like you hold a pencil. I've found that this hurts my hands more. It causes more hand cramps for me. So I like to hold it like a knife. No matter which way you hold it, I always have the pointy little hook part of my hook facing me when I start. So like I said, I hold it like a knife. Now, to hold this other part, you can see we have our long end that connects to our ball of yarn, and we have a short end. To start, you're going to take your pointer finger and put it under that long end. Then you can flatten your hand. All of your fingers should be on top of the yarn except for your pointer. Your pointer finger should go under this long strand of yarn because it is going to hold the yarn. I am then going to take my hand and face my hook. So all I'm doing is lifting my hand from the table and facing my hook. My yarn is still going over this pointer finger. I'm going to use my middle finger and my thumb to pinch at the very top of this tail, as close to my hook as I can get it. Now, something I do to help my tension, which you will learn about more later, is I then take this yarn and weave it through my fingers because it helps keep the yarn secure. So then it looks like this. So it's under my pinky, over my ring, under my middle, over my pointer. And you still hold the short tail the same if you do that. You use your middle finger and your thumb, and you pinch the very top of that tail as close to the hook as you can get. This is how I hold my crochet hook. If this way feels weird to you, I always suggest trying it first. If you're brand new to crocheting, it's going to feel weird no matter which way. But if it feels really weird and you can't work with it, there are other ways to do this. Some people wear specially made crochet rings, so then they don't have to hold their yarn exactly like this. Some people hold their hook differently. Whatever works for you is how you crochet. Crochet is not a one-size-fits-all. We all do it a little differently. So now that we've made our slip knot, and now that we know how to hold the yarn, we're going to talk about how to do the first kind of stitch you need to do in order to crochet. This is going to be the last part of this video, and we will learn the next steps in a new video. But let's go ahead and finish this last part. Now that we've learned how to make a slip knot and how to hold our yarn and our hook, we're going to learn how to do the very first stitches of our project. We're going to make a chain. The stitch that you use to make a chain is called a chain stitch. Most of the time you will just see chain when someone's talking about it. Sometimes they will just write the letter CH if you're reading a pattern. But let's go ahead and start. As you can see, I'm holding my hook. If I was holding it to me, it'd look like this. But for you guys, I'm going to hold it like this. My little nub that holds onto the yarn of my hook is facing upwards towards my pointer finger, which I have pointing straight up. Now, I'm not like over flexing it, but this finger is going to help keep this yarn from falling off. So I have it up to secure that yarn. I also have, like I said, the nub of my hook facing up. So make sure your hook in your left hand looks like this. Now that you look like this, you're going to take your hook and push towards the yarn. You're going to go kind of under it. This push will add some tension so it makes it easier to grab. So you're going to go under it and push it backwards so that this yarn hooks onto your hook. You should be able to hold it there for a second. If you're losing it, like let's say you go like this, like this, or here like that, that means your hook is not facing up. If your hook is facing up, it should kind of hold it at least for a second. Once you do that, you're going to push back, kind of go under. You're going to grab that yarn, and you're going to turn your hook all the way to you, and it's going to face all the way down. So I'll show you. You push back, go under, it hooks on, turn it all the way towards you, and face it all the way down. It's important that you make sure it faces all the way down. You are not pulling your hook yet. You are simply turning your hook. Crocheting a stitch is not a swift pull through like it is with like a knitting machine. When you crochet, there's a couple steps to it. So you're going to push back, go under. It's on the hook. You're going to turn it and face you and turn all the way down. If you do that correctly, you should be able to take that yarn and pull it straight through that stitch with ease, because your stitches are going to naturally have a V in them, and your hook is made to fit into that V pretty perfectly. If you have it like this and you can't seem to pull it through, that means your left hand is way too stiff. You need to relax that left hand. It should be doing almost no work right now. It is simply there holding the yarn. You also, if you're like holding way down here and you can't get it to pull through, that's because you're not holding up high enough. Your middle finger and thumb always need to be pinching as close to your hook as you can get. So let's practice this again. You're going to push back on the yarn a bit and go under it. Hook it with your hook facing up. It should be able to hold. And you're going to turn towards you all the way down. And you should be able to relax that left hand and pull straight through that stitch. And then as you see after my stitch, I move my pinchers up close to my hook again, because this is going to help me have control. I'm going to do a couple stitches and I'm going to slow it down so that you guys can really see what I'm doing. Now you can see I have this chain. The front of your chain is going to be the side where you can see those V's. That is the end of this video, and in the next video we're going to learn how to do a single crochet and then turn our work when we get to the end of a row. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I have patterns for beginners, and I also have patterns for those of you who are a bit more advanced on my channel. If you have any questions about anything you learned in this video, don't be scared to leave a comment down below and I'll help you the best I can. If that means making a video to clear something up, I would 100% be willing to do that for you guys. If this video helped you learn how to make a chain, let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.